Hey everyone, welcome to Ink Scribes, the comics podcast where we discuss the art and craft of comics. I'm Colin Singh. I'm an aspiring comics artist and lifelong student of the craft. And I'm joined by my co-hosts Eric Zawadzki, artist on the critically acclaimed Assorted Crisis events, out now from Image Comics, and Taylor Stauft, the Kickstarter darling, creator of Luke Zenith's Wedding Day, part of the anthology Faster Than Light, Volume 2, the Kickstarter for which is now fully funded and wrapped, but the link will be in the description below for you to still check it out. Today, a very special episode, we're going to be looking at the career of Andy Kubert, specifically the year 1990. And the two books that we're going to be looking at are Adam Strange, The Man of Two Worlds, which leads into the second book, Batman vs. Predator, which is one of my favorite crossover comics of all time. So Andy Kubert, along with his older brother Adam and his father Joe Cubert, are like the comics royalty in comics history, specifically their father, Joe Cubert. And he's probably one of my favorite artists of all time. I've always loved Andy's work too, especially in Batman vs. Predator, which I consider to be still till this day his greatest work. Okay, till this day. With all these books, so Batman vs. Predator he worked on before he did any X-Men work. And the first X-Men job that he ever got was the cover to Uncanny X-Men 266, which is the first appearance of Gambit. And he got that job literally because he went to visit Bob Harris in the Marvel offices. And Bob Harris was just informed that Jim Lee was not going to be able to do the cover to that book. After that, he did work on Wolverine, RAHNE of TERRA. It's a one-shot written by Peter David. We might look at this a little bit towards the end. So we're actually going to start, first of all, with Adam Strange. So Andy Kubert, compared to his brother Adam, Adam was in comics from the get-go, and Andy also learned how to letter at a young age, and that was basically his first. I won't call it his first break. I think it was his first job was lettering Sergeant Rock with his brother for his dad, Joe Cubert. He got $3 a page, and he later went on to go to college for commercial packaging design. But he dropped out, and he was kind of, I won't say directionless, like he was considering a couple different things. He was considering going blue collar, becoming a cop. But talking to his dad suggested that, why don't you try out going to their cartooning school? So Joe Cubert also ran a school for cartooning and graphic art. And, Andy just gave it a shot. But he did get a late start in his career. And he didn't take to it for the first couple of years. He struggled quite a bit. And it wasn't until his dad suggested that he starts looking at the work of like Hal Foster and Alex Raymond that he actually started to take to it. Examining their work, he wasn't swiping from it, but he did take some. He did learn a lot from it and applied it to his own work. So he was still lettering. And he would also take his portfolio that he developed through school with him. And one day he took it to Archie Goodwin. Now, at the time, Archie Goodwin was editing Epic Magazine, and he was dealing with more of the higher end talent, the more A-list talent, the cream of the crop, right? But he still took his stuff, and he thought it was pretty good. So he called up Larry Hama, who was also an editor at Marvel at the time. And Larry Hama ended up giving him some work on stuff like Savage Sword of Conan the Barbarian. And from there, Adam Strange was his first actual big book. Like this was a really important book for him. He and his brother Adam colored this book, and he drew and inked it. So if you look at the credits page here.
Yeah, because I know that they trade off. They often like ink each other. So I was surprised to see that it's all Andy for the line work, and then Adam comes in with the colors. Because I don't think of either of them as like colorists.
Yeah, well, what's interesting is that I grew up on them just being solely in the penciler role.
That's what I know. Yeah.
And so it's interesting seeing this early work where like Adam is doing everything. You can pick up an 80s comic and Adam is the letterer or the colorist or the inker. And yeah, it's very interesting to see compare this, I guess, to see how good of a colorist he is.
Yeah.
I never knew.
Yeah. He so the other thing is online, like I've looked at Adam is also credited as inker, even though in the book it clearly states he's a color artist. So I'm thinking that if anything, there were some pages that maybe Andy was behind on and he kind of, I don't know, ghost inked them before he started coloring them. That may be the case, but he's solely credited as color artist on here.
Yeah, and we should say that Adam is credited as inking the next book we're going to look at, and so that's like a. I found comparing the Adam Strange book with the Predator book a huge contrast, because one is like seems straight out of the 80s and one seems straight out of the 90s. And so I assumed that part of that was the fact that Adam was inking the Batman Predator book as opposed to this Adam Strange where Andy is credited as inking himself. But I mean, now I don't know.
It is kept mysterious.
So reading this book though, like do you guys not see it's the clear Joe Cubert influence in this? Like I did mention Hal Foster and Alex Raymond, and you can see that too. But in terms of the faces and the overall style aesthetic, especially the anatomy here, the shading and the hatching, that's all Joe Cubert, right?
Oh yeah.
He is his father's son, you could say.
Yeah, there's I think there's one panel in like book 2 that I thought like that was it looked like Joe Cubert drew it. It's like towards the end.
2?
Yeah, I find the figures a lot very reminiscent of Joe as well. Just kind of like they're long and lanky, but they have definition to them. It's definitely, it must be something that he's picked up either just living with the man, growing up with him, or at the school. One of the two, probably both. But Joe has such a distinctive style that I don't think you could help but take on what he's been doing, because it must have been just like throughout the house for 18 years.
Yeah, and I don't think he he wasn't a big comic fan when he was a kid, so he just sort of like looked at all the comics that Joe Cubert brought home. But yeah, he's definitely his father's son, looking at all these comics, which I can't really say that too much looking at his later work, but definitely in this comic.
Do you remember what page it was, Eric?
It is when he meets the people living out in the wilderness, and he kind of jumps onto this that dinosaur creature thing, and it's like the third panel. It looks 100% like Joe Cubert drew it. Like I looked at that panel, I was like, nothing else.
Oh yeah, that's
this one
running towards the camera. Yeah,
it reminds me of Tor.
Yeah, I mean hell, I don't know. Maybe Joe was in the office that day and drew it himself, but or maybe that is Andy really channeling his father. But yeah, I do see a lot of his father in this. And do you guys see any of Joe Cubert in the Batman versus Predator comics?
I think so. I think there's stuff with the regular looking people. Yeah.
Only in the faces.
Yeah, because the faces are he goes for kind of a minimalist feel to them.
Yeah, which I feel like later on Andy Kubert, I grew up on Andy Kubert X-Men comics, and the distinctive features of his work for me are his fingers, a lot of the hand positions, and stylistically sometimes his faces can flatten out a bit.
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. That's a really nice face. That's an Alex Raymond face right there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that is. And Hal Foster, I think.
Yeah, you can go either way. The one thing that I'm going to say about Adam Strange, this story is he proves how versatile he was. Like this story takes place on Earth. It takes place on an alien world, and he draws a lot of prehistoric looking animals and creatures, and also spaceships and ray guns. And this, he had to do it all in this. So it's no surprise that like I say, like this and Batman versus Predator, for different reasons, are the most important works of his career. This book showing his versatility, and Batman versus Predator showing, it was the biggest book at the time. It sold phenomenally well. This one sold fine, but I'm sure, and also in terms of critical acclaim, the main positive thing that this book got was the artwork was absolutely amazing. Story wise, everyone's a critic, but art wise, almost unanimously, everyone thought this book was amazing. There's another one right there. That's got to be an Alex Raymond.
Well, it's interesting you say that. This Adam Strange book seems to have been forgotten, and so what, you think it's his most important book?
It has been.
Yeah, I thought I had heard that the Batman versus Predator book was the one that put him on the map. And so everything before that was kind of under the radar.
It feels like this is kind of boot camp for him.
Well, this book, this is the book that got him the next book, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Like this was his trial.
Yeah,
this you could say, right? This was his test.
You make a good point. He has to do a lot, like from geological formations and creature design to this huge futuristic city and all of its tech, and you got to give everybody the correct alien look, which is borrowed from previous stuff. Everybody being, all the men being bald, that's a classic Alien thing. But part of because it shows up in Silver Surfer as well. All the Zenla males are bald, but you have to give the city this alien future tech feel next to this kind of craggy prehistoric feel.
And then he has to draw a regular hospital, and he has to
draw right.
Suburbia, and so it's an interesting challenge.
Now, I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
To talk about the story in this, around the late 80s, 90s, with Watchmen and Dark Knight, a lot of these pulp heroes, especially in DC, they introduced a lot of mature themes to kind of make them more mature, more adult reading. And in this, there's some childhood scenes here where his brother dares him to eat a lizard. There's another scene. The gist of the story is the Zeta beams that go from Rahne to Earth are now fading out. So there's going to be one last beam that's either going to keep Adam on Earth or he's going to keep him on Rahne. And he's married on Rahne. He's expecting a kid on Rahne. So he goes back to Earth, but he's kind of going back to Earth to say goodbye to his Earth life. But in that, he meets this doctor, right, yeah. And he goes out for a drink where he gets drunk with her, and he was about to cheat on his wife with her. And he justifies it by saying, hey,
cheat on her.
I'm saying goodbye to my Earth life. So he didn't actually end up cheating on her, but it was going down. It was going down, right?
Yeah, so, he comes real close.
He did a lot of weird stuff. He got super close. Yeah, he grabbed her boob. So
okay.
Yeah, this is, I think, what's going on here in terms of writing is they are trying to update a very specific story type, like the planetary romance, right, swords and planets sort of story. They all have tropes that don't really, I don't know that they travel through time very well. It's unless you're willing to really go deep on themes of colonialism or appropriation or anything like that, which they are not interested in doing here.
They do a little bit, well, not colonialism, but there's a little bit of, the people rising up and getting annoyed at this outsider being their hero.
Yeah, but I would have expected for a post-Watchmen deconstruction of that sort of thing, it to be, that is the main point. It's not about him going back and forth. It's not about him saying goodbye to his life on Earth. It is just about, what do I mean? What should I be here? What should I be doing here? I didn't ask to be here, but now I am. So I would, that sort of thing, you would keep him on Ron entirely. But this, it's very Game of Thrones, pre-Game of Thrones, just like political machinations.
Yeah, which if you go to the core of the character, the core of the character, which I'm not that familiar with Adam Strange, but isn't it so it's supposed to be an adventure book?
Ideally, yeah.
Is this an adventure?
It's essentially
comic?
like John Carter or Flash Gordon. It's a human. It's a man that is introduced to an alien planet. He liberates the planet. Right? He's their Jesus. Essentially, he saves the day, and it's just one man that leads a rebellion, leads an army. Adam Strange in this story happens to be that guy. But just like John Carter, who gets transported to Mars, he gets transported to TERRA using the same method, the beams, right? So
yeah. I think it gets more adventure-ish as it goes. The first issue, though, if you picked that first issue up and we're expecting space adventure or planetary adventure, I think you'd be like, what? Where is this going? What am I?
Even then, the entire book 2, he's just sort of stranded in the wilderness for.
Yeah, I think that's the adventure.
Well, I mean, what is the adventure? He climbs a mountain and then sees a bunch of people?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm not saying it's good, but I think the issue you're having with it is like, that's what these stories are, right? They're pulp adventure. They're not really doing much because they're not meant to be. The original concept of Swords and Planet is just, it's just... It's I punch bad guys and kiss girls on an alien world. What more can
but
really
it's a dude with jetpacks and ray guns, man. You can't go wrong with jetpacks and ray guns. Like, you can't go wrong with dinosaurs.
Did he use a ray gun in this comic at all?
He doesn't. No, not really.
He does.
Does he?
Right here. Yeah. Dude, did you guys read this?
Of course I did. I've tried to read all Adam Strange stuff.
Oh, yeah? What do you think of the Paul Pope Adam Strange?
I have not gotten to it yet. It's hard to find a lot of it.
Yeah, it was good.
But I'm
see that?
Yeah. Yeah, all that stuff is that the third? Is that the third issue?
This is the first one.
Okay,
dude, it's the first issue. What do you guys?
Actually, can you go post flashback, like right after the flashback with his brother, the panel where he's like framed by the playground set? I mean, I think that is probably one of my favorite panels in this entire comic. Yeah, just so well crafted.
Oh yeah,
it has such great mood to it. It's very well colored.
Yeah, because it's got great planes being used, right? Like the axe up close, and it's got that kind of that not obvious, but kind of like that visual storytelling that's like, get it? Do you get it? Where he's framed by the broken apparatus of his youth as he sits just over an implement of harm and a tool for survival, and the sun is setting. Like it's the sort of thing. It's the same visual storytelling style I associate with like Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah, and that's the highest compliment you can give.
Well, yeah, it's it's the style, right? It's that kind of like, do you get it? Good, because that's what I want you to know.
Yeah, just like the cobwebs and the the overgrowth of the plant. Yeah, it's just so well thought out, so well composed. It's just a beautiful image.
I want to go back to these. All three of these are really nice, kind of Flash Gordon, Alex Raymond, or even Hal Foster. Like, look at this one. This panel where he's coming in and shooting a fucking ray gun at a monster.
Yeah, we get to see it in a flashback.
No, but you're right. Like you do get this sort of thing. I will say, as someone who is currently working on a space adventure story, there are times where it's like, wait, can I have just my characters killing stuff? Is that enough? And sometimes it doesn't feel like it. Sometimes the setting can feel a bit like, wait, what do I do with this?
You can get lost in the world building and the fun of.
Which I'm trying not to do.
Yeah, it's a healthy balance.
Yeah.
You need a balance of everything. And oftentimes, this is a book from the 1990. So oftentimes the 90s it was off balance more towards the adventuring and not enough of the, smart story structure or political intrigue or whatever, world building. And I don't know, just in my opinion, and your mileage may vary, there's just wasn't enough of the adventuring in this comic.
Yeah. I do like that hospital scene, though, that framing of the old man dying and then.
Well, I,
Yeah.
I was going to bring up these two pages side by side is a really good example of how he can change moods between scenes.
Yeah. I get what you mean, Colin. It's somber. Everybody is draped in shadow as,
Again,
that's
here's another
that's not what a hospital room would look like. You wouldn't just put this old man in a dark room as he dies. It would be like there would be a window open, but he's not, and this is something I think that is becoming a through line for the show, is when we see things that don't necessarily conform to reality, but they are communicating what you should be feeling as the audience reading it. And then for it just on the next page, this big open, airy, kind of cathedral-like alien room with like
It's like a council room or a war room.
but you get like, they're up high, that you got the huge statue, you've got the little figures. It gives you the feeling of like, Adam looms over this planet a lot. And you don't even necessarily, you don't need to be told that. You just kind of know they built a statue to this guy in their government council room. So it communicates very, very efficiently.
Yeah, I love this page here too. This is a really nicely composed page.
Let's see.
Oh, yeah. A lot of good mood building in that page.
I do like he does that 4-panel bop 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 really well throughout this book. I think.
Yeah.
He knows how to use, like, here's the setup, and I'm going to cut you through a bunch of different angles, and then hit you with something else. Because I do like that. Yeah, it not only is it the mood, but he's also like pulling you around that scene, and you're not confused as to where you are. He's set the stage for it quite well.
Yeah. This last
beautiful colors too. Look at that sky.
Good job.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. This street lamp is really good.
Yeah.
So this is the they call this the blue line process of coloring, and I believe it's watercolor with the occasional use of white paint. In fact, there's if you go on Heritage Auctions, you can see one of the covers is up there, and you can see it up close. It's and it's actually looks. I don't know if it's the original inked page that he colored, but yeah, I believe on Heritage Auctions he's like colored directly on the board. But for the interior pages, I think, they're separated. Like I've seen some original art pages where it's just the inks.
You would have to, yeah.
But who knew Adam Kubert was so good at coloring? For me, some of the scenes, I love how he does this stark contrast. Like when the Zeta beam hits him towards the end of book 1, like he's on that cliff, and then he's on his way, and then when he arrives, that just like hits you like a ton of bricks. The difference of because he arrives into some sort of weird hallucination, right?
Yeah, because it's like himself pulling himself apart, the planet pulling himself apart. Yeah, it's a good.
Yeah, it's like you have sort of a quote unquote regular colors as he gets hit by the beam, and then when it arrives, there's this like psychedelia, like almost neon quality to it, and it hits you like, I don't know, insanity would hit someone if they were put into this situation. Because that's the thing, he goes temporarily insane.
Each time? Damn.
Or just, not each time, this one. There's just this, I think they explained it in the book that he got hit by the Zeta beam too many times and this was the final straw or something. I'm
Oh,
not
okay.
sure.
Yeah, just fuck with your head. Yeah. This is a nice Kirby Crackle. Compliments of Adam.
Would you
Cool.
call that Kirby Crackle? That's all in the coloring.
Well, it's
And that's just dabs of different
that's
color
what
paint.
I said
It's called Cubert Crackle now.
Cubert Crackle.
yeah, I'll take it.
The one and only time we've ever seen it. The Cubert
Yeah.
Crackle.
But it is a good, like, I do like it's that kind of feel of particles. I don't know I don't know quite what it's trying to do, but I guess it's the bursting of the hallucination. Like he's
coming out of that scene.
Yeah.
That was, the neon scene that we were looking at.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's Adam Kubert does that a lot with this the heavy contrast.
I love these wraparound covers too. These covers are amazing.
Yeah, there's a looseness to the covers that I really like. You don't get that as much inside, and I don't know why that is.
So Taylor, you've been playing with watercolor a lot lately. So this very first page, check out that watercolor effect in the background.
Yeah, well, you will see an attempt and failure at that at the end of this episode.
I don't know about that, but yeah, this is like a dabbing wet on wet kind of feel. I guess.
Yeah, it's taking like a very wet amount of paint and putting it onto a very wet board, so it just kind of spirals outwards in. It seems like it's like through the water, and it kind of capillaries towards the end. Yeah,
I like the blood here. We should be talking more about Andy's art than Adam's colors, but there's
that head that you're pointing at.
So nice.
That's an Alan Moore transition when it goes from the statue to his head, and contrast the two.
Oh yeah.
Which, like, Alan Moore was all anybody was talking about it around this time, right? But Alan Moore loved interesting transitions like that, which he's since abandoned because. One of Alan Moore's things is that if somebody discovers a trick of yours and you become associated with that trick, lose it right away. Yeah, because you need to start. You need to constantly be advancing as a creator.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
That's like when someone orders the same thing as you at the restaurant, you want to change your order.
Exactly like that. Yes, it's the exact same thing.
It's exactly like that. Yeah.
I love the alien planets that he's come up with too. I like that this is the sort of thing that I always think this is what comics does best. There is no budgetary limits. You can just make this weird alien world for as much as drawing two figures talking to each other.
Yeah, definitely.
But so I mean, there is a couple of weird things. So on RAHNE, there's what they have is called sensory orbs, where this lady walks in on a guy pretty much masturbating, about dry humping this orb, and she shoots him and kills him. But like, it's just this is a weird fucking scene. This is like some Twin Peaks shit. I don't know. It's like, where did this come from?
Yeah. Because who is this? This is Alana, the Adam Strange's wife?
No, this is the rebel girl. I can't remember her name.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that is. Yeah, it's super. I don't want to hurt. What the hell? Yeah, it's so strange.
She shoots him.
Yeah, like you would think. I don't have to stop this guy. He's got his own thing going on. I'll just move right past him, and nope, got to kill him.
Yeah.
So towards the end of the book, there's I think it's like maybe the fourth last page. I think when his friend arrives on the planet for the first time, I guess she gets hit by the Zeta beam. Now those hand positions, the asymmetry, and one hand kind of down like this and one hand like that. That is such an Andy Kubert thing. It's in all of his work. It's even on the cover to book 3. The villain in the background of book 3 is doing that exact same thing. Like he loves doing that.
Yeah, I wonder why.
It's a quirk of his. It's just sort of like we all have our quirks. It's a fun thing you can see in almost all of his work.
Yeah.
All right, let's close it out with 3.
All right.
So again, beautiful, beautiful landscapes and colors. I mean, these guys, and they've asked. So in an interview with Andy, he was asked before, would you consider doing something creator-owned or something personal with your family members? And he said that, no, we all pretty much just do our own thing. Like, I think that he and Adam, and you, probably even their father, like, they just saw comics as a job and they just took whatever jobs. Obviously, they were selective about it and everything, and they try to do things that they love, but it's still just work to them. And I think Joe Cubert is probably the only one with the aspirations to do creator-owned work. I don't think Adam or Andy have either one of them have never done creator-owned work. It's always been corporate stuff, right?
Even then, I think the creator-owned aspect was accidental because it was like Joe Kubert's creator-owned work is Tor, and I think he learned that from Will Eisner. I read an interview with Joe Cubert where he said Will Eisner was the very first person within comic books, outside of like syndicated comic strips, within comic books, Will Eisner was the first to have a creator-owned book. And Joe Cubert not too long after that. And it wasn't an intentional thing. It just sort of happened.
Yeah, it is strange that it's they don't really do. Man, they don't do any. Wow.
Yeah, it's like they're blue collar workers. I guess it's a gig.
Besides Tor, though, Joe Kubert's done like a number of creator-owned work. There's Abraham Stone, Jew Gangster, Yosef.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's not just Tor. Tor has been predominantly published by DC, but it's also been independently published and stuff. But yeah, I think Joe Cubert is the standout when it comes to creator-owned stuff. Comics are more personal to him, but to his sons, I'm assuming it's just a job, And to be fair, they're still pumping out really great work, and they are passionate about their work.
And maybe they just like working on the icons.
Well, and like, what am I going to create something so that somebody can possibly take it from me? Like, they've lived through that very tumultuous era of, no, this corporation owns it. That's it.
No, but they have enough power now.
No, I know.
They could do it, but they, the drive isn't in them. It's doing a creator-owned book is owning a business, which they should know. They run the Cubert School. I guess they owned the Cubert School for a little while. I think they've sold it now, but that's running a business. But it's a different kind of business, I guess.
Yeah.
Having a creator-owned comic is owning a really small business. It is a business where you're doing most of the work. It's and there's a lot of tasks that you have to do that are not drawing related, where it's just like, oh, I'm losing 2 hours doing this, and I'm losing 3 hours doing that, and just dealing with this, which is why, like, you look at the Ninja Turtles creators, and there's a reason why they just stopped drawing eventually.
Right. Yeah. You got to field every question about every licensing thing,
but that was a small business that became a giant business, and that's kind of a terrible example for me to bring. I own a creator-owned book, and so I own a tiny business with like basically 5 employees basically. Like and me and Dennis are doing like all the behind the scenes work. So
issue 5 is out now, and make sure to pre-order that trade coming out in September.
Agreed.
Andy and Adam, I think, have created a number of characters for the Big Two. I know Andy Kubert co-created Damian Wayne, Batman's son, with Grant Morrison.
That's right. Yeah.
He even started writing a bit too. So
Oh, good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he wrote a Damian Wayne story, I believe.
Oh, okay. I really think that this final issue is kind of this is what it should have been more like.
That's some cool shit.
Yeah, just like a lot of big sci-fi ideas rather than political
Yeah.
intrigue. Like,
Yeah, the science fantasy of it all, the like riding a dragon to this futuristic alien city, uh, starting an attack, skulking through hallways, tech
yeah,
armor.
Joe
I
Kubert.
kind of, I as I was reading this, I thought, what is going to be the big epic climax? Is there going to be a big battle? Is he going to, ride a dragon to fighting an army? And what would you guys say the climax is?
Hmm. Hmm.
The city raises up above the ground. They go into space. The end. Was that the climax?
Well, I was gonna say it's got a bit of a Star Wars ending where there's 4 or 5 different scenes going on at once. So it's kind of hard to say, but like here, he takes the jetpack and he's doing one last like he's going to rescue his wife, and at the same time, this guy's going to blow up the world, and it's just there's a lot going on that it is hard to say.
Yeah, it's kind of it's not a solution that I would have thought going in. Um, it feels like it's not set up right of like, oh, Ran is dying, so we need to, or maybe it is, but Ran is dying, so we will have to figure out something. Like you'd think that would be the main thrust of the story if the solution is we lifted the city up into space, because it would solve two problems
Mm.
of this planet is dying and Adam keeps getting pulled back and forth. But if he's not on that planet, it won't affect him anymore, or something like that. That said, though, I do
Mm.
like the atmosphere that comes with
Yeah.
the lead up to it, as he's trying to make his way through when he's got like the big Dracula robes on. I really like the atmosphere.
Mm.
Yeah, especially with the colors involved, right? Like, I mean, are we talking about the same page where there's like greens and purples and?
Yeah, yeah, page 24 ish.
Around here.
Yeah, the where he's kind of surrounded by all this tech, and then it's green and it's blue. There's this separation of like where he was
He's doing
to
the
where he's going.
handstand.
Yeah, it's and then you see just like, you're a madman. What have you done? And then I think it's like one more page turn, and you get just kind of this creepy silent atmosphere. Yeah, throughout the city. There's the Cubert gang sign.
Yeah. Yeah, right there. I really like this two-panel transition here, where all you see is the fingers pushing through the door.
Oh
This
yeah,
is a
that
great
is good.
shot.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good cut too. To like, it's so
Yeah.
close and then just slammed open. And I
You
love
really feel
the
that door
mist
opening.
and the mist behind him too. Like I don't know if that must be the coloring, I guess.
Well, I mean, it's there in the inks. It's just
Yeah,
oozes
yeah, that's
atmosphere.
true. Yeah, yeah, and then on that next page, yeah, the page beside it, that slap, that's a real Cubert face.
Oh yes,
He's getting
yes,
slapped.
yeah.
Although overall, I just don't see like I don't know if like I read so many Andy Kubert X-Men comics, so I know Andy Kubert's style. But if you put this comic in front of me with like blind taste test, I don't know who the artist is. I don't know if I would have guessed right away. Definitely with the fingers, because he loves doing like articulating every part of the finger. That is definitely a signature of his. But his faces are a little bit different going forward. A
Yeah,
little
he
bit.
doesn't do faces like this anymore. He doesn't do wide eyes. His eyes are a little bit more slanted now.
Although I'm saying
This
this,
is
and
more
now I
Joe.
see a little bit in some of these faces. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe I would have guessed right away. but definitely,
Side
like he
profile
finds
shots.
more. He finds more of his style later on. This is him
Well,
finding.
yeah, which is what we've seen a lot, right? Like Barry Windsor Smith. Check out our Barry Windsor Smith episodes. Just being a Kirby clone and then becoming like transitioning through different styles to finally get to what we recognize him as.
And then our very first Chris Bachalo episode, just seeing how like that entire episode we saw the transition. So yeah, it's always fun seeing this early work. I know these artists that we talk about, if they were to watch these episodes, they would be absolutely horrified because everybody hates their early work. And everybody just like does not just wishes they could just hide them. So Andy Kubert is a student of the craft and he's a teacher. And so I'm confident that if he saw like us dissecting this work, he would just be horrified. Like, why can't you look at one of my good comics?
Andy, if you're watching this, come on the show. We'd love to talk to you.
Oh, 100%. But overall, like I said, the main takeaway from this book, I think it was an important book for him. It was his first real big break, and it showed how versatile he was. And it's obviously carried over for the rest of his career. He's continuously evolved, right? You can see the heavy influence of Joe Cubert in this stuff, especially in how he draws the faces. But he has really come into his own since this.
Yeah, yeah. And I think you're right. I think it's indicative of like where he's going to go and what he'll be working on, I guess. Because these sorts of things, they're really interesting, especially because if it's your first work, you're going to put so much into it. And I do feel like whatever issues you can have with the book, and I think a lot of it is the writing, or actually not even the writing, the genre.
Well, now that we've had our vegetables, let's move on to dessert. Let's get to the good stuff, okay? I read this book 100 times as a kid, right? And I do think like 1990, maybe 89 to 90, around the time that he worked on this stuff, that was the most important year of Andy Kubert's career. This book is what got him X-Men, as I said before. And the pages were being passed around both the DC and Marvel offices, and they were being blown away. The book itself sold phenomenally well. Mike Mignola was actually supposed to. So how Andy Kubert got the job was Mike Mignola was supposed to draw it, but he didn't have time, and there was a stipulation with Fox that the book had to come out before Predator 2 came out. And it didn't end up happening that way. Like I did some research and the movie came out before the book came out. So I don't know if it was a stipulation of when it came out to VHS or on TV or whatever the case may be. But Adam and Andy pumped this book out in 90 days and each issue was 30 pages. So he essentially did 90 pages in 90 days, penciled and inked. I think it was Todd Klein that colored it or lettered it. No, Adam also lettered it. So yeah, they did the full deal.
Yeah, Andy was burnt out after this.
I'll bet.
Just like burning the candles at both ends.
He had no days off.
It's interesting because in Dave Gibbons' book Confabulations, an anecdotal autobiography where he just writes about his entire career, he mentions that Jeff Durow was supposed to be the artist, and he was just way too detailed and slow. So it's interesting that Andy says Mignola and Gibbons, the writer of this, says it was Jeff Durow.
Which makes sense. I think there's like, you toss a few names out for a project and then like, well, I remember hearing Mike. Oh, well, I remember hearing Jeff. Well,
and it probably is both of them. It is probably they were in such a desperate situation. Like contractually, we have to get this out by X date, and then they go through this artist, and then that doesn't work out. So they go through that artist, and that doesn't work out. And then everybody hears different parts of the whole process, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, there was no group chat back then either. It was pretty much he said, she said.
That is a good.
That was the true age of he said, she said.
Yeah, the most instant form of communication is a 2-person phone call.
Yeah. But this was around the time, as well as when this was coming out, RoboCop versus Terminator was also being produced. So Dave Gibbons said that, Frank Miller and Simonson took RoboCop versus Terminator, he was offered this book. And when he wrote it, he said he had a blast. He said it was very seamless and very easy to write. Everything just kind of came together, and he has reread it since, and he still thinks it holds up. So the story was printed two different ways. So it was released in prestige format and in floppies. So the prestige format has glossy paper, and the floppies have matte paper. Now, going back to the Batman Year One episode where we were talking about, which coloring style we preferred or which printing we preferred, here I really can't decide, because just to draw a comparison, in the glossy stock, you get shots like it looks really great. This is the exact page that I'm going to do a comparison to here. Here we go. Okay. So just to compare these two pages here, like if you take this bottom panel, they both look very similar, but in glossy stock, it's slightly like brighter, but it fits. And really, now Eric and I, we both love the matte paper, and I'm matte paper till I die. So if I had to choose, if there's a gun to my head, I'm going to take the matte paper. I'm going to take the matte printing over the glossy printing, right? To my grave. But I'd still love the production on the glossy stock as well. Okay. So for the sake of this episode, so I don't destroy these ones, even though they're pretty dog-eared, like I look at them both equally, especially when I was doing research for this episode, like they're already messed up, but we'll be looking at the gloss or the floppies for this one.
I will say, I think I prefer the matte version, just because I think it suits the overall creepy, dank atmosphere of Gotham City in this. Like, it's, to me, Batman, I feel looks better in a matte newsprint format, just because it is so it's thematically correct for the character. He's good, there's bad. He's bringing order to chaos. The city is huge and overbearing, and there's just kind of like a weight that the matte brings to the colors and the inks and just the overall feel to it.
If we look at the first 3 or 4 pages of Adam Strange, if you could just quickly pull that up, Colin, you can see that Andy Kubert is an expert at composition at this point. There's a lot of negative space on the page. He's not afraid of negative space. And again, it looks very much of the Joe Kubert school. But if we look at this comic, the Batman versus Predator comic, there's almost no negative space. The entire comic is, I guess there's just so much visual information on every page and every panel. And sometimes it's just too much, in my opinion.
I think that's what he's trying to do specifically.
Well, and I will say that I think the only time he does use negative space is for the Predator vision. And so that might be intentional. Like, he's just purely reserving it for those moments. But then the color comes in, and the color, there's so much color detail in the Predator vision that it obfuscates any sort of what it doesn't do what negative space is supposed to do.
I will say, I feel like a lot of I'm trying to put myself in the mind of someone who is when I think about making this book, the only thing you really have to reference is the first Predator movie, right? There's not a lot of
copy.
Yeah. And the thing is that it is quite different, right? The first movie is set in that jungle, and I think that's what they're trying to do here, is give the feel of this is the urban jungle. This is a reflection of what you've previously seen in the movie, so that it still has that kind of close, hidden, claustrophobic feel that you get from especially the back half of that movie, where you're not really there's a point in the movie where the Predator doesn't even really need the camouflage tech, right? It's just such a dense environment that he can just hide amongst things. And I think that's what's going on here as well. They're trying to overwhelm you in order to call back to that one predator thing, you know.
So you think it was intentional? Like,
I do, yeah.
I mean, it might be because as I said, like in Adam Strange, he is capable of this. I will say that, like, so Adam Kubert is inking this, and he is embracing that 90s school of Scott Williams inking. So it is interesting, again, to compare these two comics, the Adam Strange and Batman versus Predator.
This is a great example of that right here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And again, here on the face.
I really love this introduction of Batman too. It's so Batman. It's exactly how you would expect this theatrical goth superhero to announce his presence into a crime scene. Just like billowing cape, fist out, fog, I guess, rising, and as he stands over a murder victim, it's just so very Batman in the way that you don't necessarily think of Batman initially. Like, there's so much more theater with Batman that I love when this sort of aspect is captured.
Yeah, that's a good point. It is very theatrical, which you kind of need in comics. You need to be pushing things a little bit more because you don't have the actors moving, and because you don't have the charisma of an actor on display. And that's like an old cartoon rule. You need to push things a little bit more past what is, like, quote unquote, like normal, or I don't know, like a casual pose.
So I wanted to actually, like, ask you guys, so specifically to the production of this book. So it was 3 issues, 32 pages per issue, no ads. So overall, it's about 96 pages of story. Now, if you take images like this, if this was like a 48 or a 64 page type of thing, images like this would have just become a splash page.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's my belief that overall there's probably only 1, 2, 3. There's 3 splash pages and 1 or 2 double splash pages in the whole thing. And do you think that they were really trying to condense the story in, like, so that they had to have an artist that could do anchor images like this to make it feel like a splash page, because I've read this book 100 times as a kid, and panels like this is a perfect shot of Batman lifting up the sheet up to see the corpse underneath. Like, his face is perfectly inked here. Even his hand holding the sheet. Like, I've redrawn this panel a couple of times, and just shots like here where there's 3 characters in probably a shot that takes up a third of the page, and it's just headshots, right? Like, there's the perspective, everything's wonky here, but it still fits and it still works, right? Do you think, in terms of problem solving skills, like, I don't know even how to ask you guys this question, but problem solving skills are just
I think
laying this thing out and making it pop. Like, what's the
I think there's 2 years between Adam Strange and Batman versus Predator, and I think the 2-year difference is a lot of studying of Jim Lee comics. If I were to guess, just studying Jim Lee comics so much.
There's only 1 year difference.
Oh, well, I mean, the difference is stark, isn't it?
He really becomes the artist that I think of him as. I wonder about this, because if it's 30 pages each, that's more than the typical ones we're getting at the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would think that they would
22
I would think they would be using space more, and I wonder if the limited number of splash pages is more about keeping you feeling and reading in this tight, confined space, so that when a splash page happens, it's this explosion of story that's happening. Just as, oh, okay, now this tension has been released.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah. But you do get a lot of great. I mean, listen, I am a bit of a fanboy at heart. I am a little bit of a fanboy at heart. So seeing stuff like this for the first time, this sequence of panels here, where you see the three dots on his
Oh yeah.
chest, the predator shot on him, and Batman is literally looking up at him, and he can see him in his thermal vision, and then the dots go away, like stuff like that. I would just like, but
Yeah,
then
this
there's
is,
greatly
I'll
there's
admit,
really
going
cool
in
shots.
to this, I was like, all right, a corporate crossover, great. But on the other side, I was like, this fucking rocks. Like this is a well thought out reason for why the Predator would be here, the interaction with Batman, and it really just, it does feel, I don't know, it feels so much more interesting or well thought out than I was expecting to be like something that just kind of slapped together. But it's not. Like this fucking rules. It's heavy metal in a comic, which I fucking love.
Yeah. So the way Gibbons has written the story is it's as if it was an actual like, blockbuster movie. So within the first few pages, you got Batman kicking ass, you got the Predator, um, taking heads. In fact, he makes a kill within the first 3 pages. Now, in terms of like trophies that he takes, he fights the first actual opponent who is a boxer hand to hand. And then from there, it progresses to gang members who all have guns. And then eventually he gets to Batman. And in the first issue, you can see that he takes like a number of victims. But at the end, when it comes to Batman, uh, right here, it's actually Batman who manages to hunt down the Predator. And he gets into a confrontation with the Predator. There's some beautiful shots in here, though, like this corner shot here where Batman's throwing a smoke bomb at the Predator. Um, Batman's actually horrified at the first time he sees the Predator, and he can see the Predator has been wounded. He's treating his own wound. And then towards the end here, like, man, I just love this book. Look at this shot of the disc coming back to the Predator. Hey, can we just take a moment? Just take a moment, please.
It's pretty good.
This is the Andy Kubert, more so the Andy Kubert that I grew up with than that previous comic. This comic kind of looks like Joe Kubert with '90s excess on it.
Yeah.
And I should
Yeah.
say that Adam Kubert won the Eisner for best inker for this comic. So
That's right. Yeah, he did.
so yeah, there was a lot of love at this time for how this turned out.
Yeah, I'm really appreciating the staging of this. That bottom panel where the Predator is on the left hand page, where the Predator is approaching, and there's just like
Yeah.
the separation of foreground, background. I know you love this size relations, and but then on
Mhm.
the other side as well, on the right hand page, bottom right panel, you get like the Predator framing Batman as like this is the danger feels real to Batman because this is something he has not faced this, and he has not like everybody. The closest thing I could think of would maybe be like Lobo, but Lobo's like a motor mouth asshole that you could deal with. But the Predator is just he is a predator. He's coming for you. That's all he's there for. He does not care about you.
Yeah. So basically, the last page ends with Batman looking under the wreckage. He sees the Predator, or the Predator is still under the wreckage, and he blasts him, and he pretty much gets the drop on him at the end. He's about to take the death blow. Now this actually, so going from this to issue 2, this panel here is repeated, but it's still drawn brand new.
Oh, that's
It's
interesting.
in issue
You
2.
would think in the crunch time that they have for this, it would just be photostat that on, please.
Sorry, it's not that it's repeated. It's just that it's the same shot. It's just that now he goes from he winds up, and then he has his fist to his neck.
Oh,
Right?
okay, yeah, all right. That makes more sense. To
Yeah. So there's no breaks here.
right, yeah.
Man, you gotta love the lettering in this comic, which was Adam Kubert, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's Adam. It's all Adam.
Yeah.
All the sound effects, everything.
I mean, these two pages
Love it.
especially. It's so well done. Man, Adam can do everything, eh?
But Adam can do everything, and we'll see that in the Adam Kubert episode coming up too. We got some good stuff for that. But I want to go back quickly to this. Even right here, you guys see this as the disc is coming back to his hand. It's like, shoo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like the sound effect is following it. That is a good.
It's following.
Yeah, that's like a good approximation, I guess, because you're not going to get the Doppler effect, but it's a good approximation of the Doppler effect.
Yeah. So, yeah, like I don't know. Obviously, I'm biased because I grew up watching the Predator movie. You guys watched the Predator movies growing up,
Of course.
and I've read this book so many times. But even like drawing this Jim Gordon here, the side profile, like even Jim Gordon looks like a badass in this book. You know.
I love the foreshortening of that of the blade coming towards them and then pointing then down directly at Batman.
Yeah.
Because it gives it a sense of like danger, right? Like this is coming at you, and then oh Christ, that's going at Batman. It just kind of drives home the danger, which is kind of that feels. I think that's part of the claustrophobic feel of it too, right? Of this whole book is it feels dangerous. There's kind of nowhere for Batman to go.
Now, here's actually, I wanted to also point this out. There's two scenes going on here at the same time on the same page. So there's a big block of like essentially talking head text going for the next few pages. But the bottom panel of each page is essentially Batman making his way back to the Batcave or having made his way back to the Batcave. The first panel being his costume is all torn up, along with a duster, Alfred's duster. So he came back to Alfred, and Alfred is now, you can assume, is treating him. This panel is essentially, you can see. I don't know if it's either the night sky or if it's the darkness from the Batcave. From there, we go to a staircase, blood-covered staircase, and then you can see that it's Bruce Wayne all wrapped up. Meanwhile, Predator's wreaking havoc. Okay, so like you can see that Batman is in recovery. There you see Alfred cleaning up all the bloodstains, and meanwhile, Predator is running Gotham City. Right?
Yeah, I assumed the bottom panels were the black one. I assumed it was like Batman passing out, but
what's a nice storytelling trick where you're contrasting Batman needs to recover, and then while Batman's recovering, all this shit is happening,
and making the point to give it a clear outline so that you are drawn down to it, and you're not confused that it's the same as the rest of the black gutters. It's got the white gutters around it.
Yeah. But so the two splash pages are in this issue. So actually issue 1 was completely just 6 or 7 panel pages plus no splash pages, but lots of cool anchor images for each page. This issue, you get one Predator Triumphant splash page and one Batman, so-called Batman Returns to Kick Some Ass splash page. Let me just get there. So there's your one splash page. It looks awesome. A really grotesque looking gargoyle here. It doesn't even look like a gargoyle. It's like some kind of monster from Adam Strange. You know, it's a really interesting choice he picked there.
Yeah, like that's not how stone works at all. That's
well, also all the teeth are colored and all the talons and everything. Like
my thought is well, like when I see it, I'm like, oh yeah, this is the sort of thing you get in a comic because you don't actually have to make it conform to how a gargoyle would actually operate. Like stone has great compressional strength, but has atrocious tensile strength, so which is why you don't get a lot of like marble statues with arms out like this completely unsupported. You usually have to have something, some bar or support. But and you wouldn't see like the tongue coming out or the spindly claws. That would have been broken off in a heartbeat, right? Like somebody could have just like a piece of detritus in a windstorm just takes it off. But this is what I'm talking about when I say I think the point is to give you this claustrophobic feel so that then when you do get the splash, it feels triumphant, it feels open. The predator is victorious over the city. And it also allows them to give the small little bat signal. It's signaling Batman's return. And at the same time signaling Gotham needs him because the Predator has just wrecked shit throughout this entire city.
Yeah, it's a great composition and oozing with
the last
atmosphere
one
with
here,
with all that fog, I guess, steam, whatever that is.
Yeah. But then it's back into the tight little panels.
Right.
That's true. Yeah, there's like 6 to 9 panel grids here.
Yeah, like there's so many. And then, okay, I'm back. This is my city. Don't you ever forget.
This is a really great panel. Gordon pulling his gun.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like what's he going to do? The only thing he knows how to.
And those are very typical Andy Kubert hands. You can spot an Andy Kubert hand a mile away. He just loves loves articulating every joint of the finger.
True, yeah.
And he loves like them moving in like interesting ways.
Sometimes it almost borders on like actually you can't move those two fingers like that. Like
one pulls the other down actually.
Yeah.
It's a quirk of his style, which is pretty fun.
That's another great shot, busting through the door. But yeah, so this is the second splash page of the series, and now this is the last. This is the last page of issue 2. So they've only utilized 2 splash pages. And again, I'm just saying in terms of like, there's no hard set rules of comic books, but splash pages and things like of that nature to sell a story, to make a story exciting. They didn't utilize any of that in the first one. I think the first one, obviously, they counted on it just selling because it's the first issue, and they saved the so-called good stuff for later, right? But this is a great splash page of Batman.
Yeah, in his new predator-proof armor.
Like he's about to take on Superman.
Yeah.
I think it was really interesting that he doesn't have any eyes. That's actually a kind of interesting thing for the costume design for this battle armor.
That feels very of the time, right? It's kind of got
if you go into this issue, I think it's glass.
Oh, okay.
Because shot in here
that makes more sense.
There's a shot in here where it's like you can see right here. He goes wide-eyed through the mask.
Oh right, yeah.
So it might be glass.
Yeah, right.
I don't know,
it's supposed to be kind of like. But it felt like of the time. Just I don't know what it is, like snake eyes or something like that, where just the tech is so advanced you don't have to show the eyes. I think that's actually a lot of it, is that it's supposed to be giving you this feel of this tech is so advanced it looks like he doesn't even need his eyes. He's got them, but he doesn't need to show it.
And speaking of 90s excess, like a big part of the 90s is just like, does it look cool? Yes. Okay. Who cares about anything else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
It's a really nice shot of
is
profile shot or portrait shot of Batman there.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
This is the one double page splash. Oh
All
no,
right,
actually, there's two, but this is
yeah,
the one.
I thought there was one later on. Ooh, that is good though.
There is one.
Man,
Yeah.
Andy sure knows how to pose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's exact
And you
that
got
you're
some of
waiting for that, right?
there. Yeah.
Like you're waiting for that this entire book. You've purchased 2 issues previously, and you've been waiting for this showdown, and he doesn't disappoint.
It always comes down to Batman figuring his opponent out and then coming back with some kind of battle armor or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, the story does wrap up very nicely. It's incredibly, like, he uses the Batmobile, like, and Predator busts through the Batmobile. He tears up the Batmobile. Like, it's so exciting to read. And at the very end of it, again, good sound effects here by Adam. It comes down to
Yeah, because it's out on Wayne Manor, right? The estate.
It's out on Wayne Manor. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
And when he can't trap him,
I think it's
basically
a good. Like, does Batman own the city? Sure. But can he control it? No. He does know the Wayne estate, though. Like I like that idea of, well, nobody cares. This Predator doesn't care that I'm world famous billionaire playboy Bruce Wayne, but I can control this environment way better than the city itself. Like it's a pretty good solution to this problem.
Batman pretty much, like, he succeeds in getting the Predator stripped down to he has nothing left. He has no more weapons. Mm-hmm. He can't even self-destruct. Like, he can't commit suicide anymore. So Batman strips himself down, and all he takes with him is a baseball bat. So he goes out and he beats the shit out of the Predator with a baseball bat. And that's how he beats the Predator, right?
The term is bat. It is a bat.
Yeah. But this is the second double page splash. The Predator mothership comes down to claim their fallen warrior. Although he ends up killing himself, he commits seppuku.
Yeah, this one is the one that sticks out in my memory. It's super atmospheric. It has that feeling of kind of Close Encounters of the Third Kind, like this gigantic ship and these strange lights making a familiar atmosphere and environment feel different. Like Batman, we've seen the Wayne grounds, and this just feels different. It's lit very differently, and yeah, I think I like the use of the alien tech just kind of crashing into this park, for lack of a better term, because that's what the grounds of a rich guy's house would be.
It's interesting that Gibbons wrote this having only watched the first Predator movie, and I assume he didn't read the script for the second Predator movie. So I guess he's creating some of the mythology here, which I guess isn't in movie continuity, but yeah, there's only one Predator in the first Predator movie, right?
The past doesn't think about continuity as much as we do now, though. Right? That's not really a thing people keep in their minds as much.
Yeah, but as a writing exercise, it's interesting that he just has to come up with this stuff. He has to think about Predator mythology. Based solely on that first movie, which that first movie didn't have a ton of Predator mythology. Like, is it even established that he's a race of creatures? He could have just been some one-off. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Down in a spaceship.
I don't know now that I'm thinking about it.
Like, I guess it's obvious that he is a race of some kind, but like, yeah, we don't know that much. And based on this comic, like, you can infer a lot more from the culture of the predators. Like they practice seppuku, apparently.
I think Dave Gibbons did read the script to Predator 2 because the ending here is
Okay.
the same ending as in Predator 2. When you kill a predator, when you defeat a predator, the leader gives you a prize, and Danny Glover got that revolver at the end of Predator 2. In this, they present him with a sword.
Oh, okay. Yeah, great.
Yeah, after he kills the predator in Predator 2, they come and collect the corpse, and they give him a weapon, which is a revolver from like the 1700s.
That shows up in Prey.
Oh, interesting.
Right.
I have seen Prey. That's pretty cool.
See? It's all coming together.
But it's also the kind of property that you don't need to have too much. You don't have to worry about the lore that much, right? One of the alluring things about the Predator as an opponent is you don't know anything about him. Your character has to figure stuff out, right? The Schwarzenegger in the first one, he has to figure it out. And that's kind of the point of that movie too, right? It's a horror movie with action movie tough guys as the teens at Camp Crystal Lake. They're supposed to be the biggest, baddest asses in deposing Central and South American governments and stuff, and then they just walk right into their own horror movie.
Yeah, the mashing of genres.
Yeah.
And I guess this comic is a mashing of genres too, right? It's a superhero mashed with sci-fi horror.
Yeah.
Now, the difference between the flops and the prestige formats, just to close out this thing, is the floppies had no pinups, no variant covers or anything like that. Actually, just to point out, these covers were done by Chris Warner. Chris Warner was an artist on the Predator books for Dark Horse. Okay, they're beautiful covers. Okay, but these ones were done by Arthur Suydam. And the pinups at the back were actually presented as trading cards. So these trading cards were done by the cream of the crop. Okay,
so wait, so when you say they're Oh, okay. So they're just like printed out as that. They're not like you bust them off.
Yeah, and you
trade
can
them.
cut them out if you want. Yeah, and they were done by Tim Sale, Mike Mignola, Arthur Adams, Jeff Darrow. Who else? Steve Rude. So these are really great.
I love the Mignola one with his weird, tiny little feet. It's a weird thing that he keeps doing.
Issue 2, they were all. Yeah, issue 2, they're all done as pinups. Mike Kaluta.
Oh, very cool.
I'm just going to pause on each one. That was by Chris Warner and Arthur Adams right there. And then we got Tim Sale and Walt Simonson.
Hell yeah. I love that Simonson just goes ham on those ears.
Yeah.
Adam Hughes.
I think that's Matt Wagner. Matt Wagner.
Nice.
And then Joe Cubert.
So it's Joe Cubert, and then who's the guy next one?
John B. Higgins.
John B. Higgins, attorney at law.
That's the color for Killing Joke in that. And then we got one by Tom Yates and Steve Rude.
Steve the Dude Rude. Okay? You put some respect on that name.
We got Sam Keith, John Byrne. And lastly, Butch Geis. And then also Mike Mignola at the end.
The way Mignola draws figures moving through the air, it's always captured this fall, this like, oh shit, he's about to land on him midair. It's great.
And all that talk of
Yeah.
negative space, like Mignola is the master at utilizing negative
Yeah.
space and utilizing shape specifically with negative space.
This
Man,
last
we're
one's
all
by
going to have to come
Gibbons.
real correct when we do a Mignola one.
Yeah, which should be coming up soon.
And then number 3, they were printed as trading cards again. But
That's
number 2 had them all.
Is it the same? There, it's all the same though, right?
All those pinups are the trading cards themselves. Yeah.
That's what a strange pattern to set up. I'm surprised by that.
It's very 90s. Like,
Yeah. Oh, okay.
trading cards were huge in the 90s.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tops.
So we're not going to actually look at this one because we've got another Andy Kubert episode coming out with his X-Men work. But this was the first published X-Men book, Wolverine. He worked on this before he took over the Adjectives title from Jim Lee. So there was this, and he did a couple of fill-ins, I think, on Uncanny and X Factor. But this cover, I love this one shot as a kid.
I haven't read it.
So I just kind of have it there.
Yeah, what's the deal with it? Is it just like a
well,
it looks kind of mythical almost.
It is basically it takes place here and in an alternate reality. RAHNE from the New Mutants, she's under a spell from an alternate reality where a lot of the characters there resemble X characters in the regular universe. It's a long. That's why I'm not going to get into it. It's hard to explain.
Oh, okay.
But it's a great book.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair.
You know, pick it up in the back issue bin if you can. But this work does not resemble his work on the actual X-Men book. The Wolverine that he illustrates is quite dark and more monstrous, as you can see here. And the figure work is a little bit more, it's a little bit more animal-like. But still, it's an awesome book. You get some great shots like that.
I kind of like when artists lean into Wolverine being animalistic. Like he's got hair everywhere, his teeth are pronounced, his nostrils are always open. I like when they lean into those aspects of him, because it's like he's supposed to be a mutant, and that's kind of one of the defining factors of him is like, do you smell that? It's coming.
Yeah. But anyway, we should wind this one down. So artwork wise, I don't have anything prepared, but I am working on an Adam Strange one. So when this episode airs, there it is. Dun da da da.
Rad.
Oh man, it looks so beautiful.
What about you, Taylor? What you got?
Okay, so I want to say I'm disappointed with the figure work in this, but this is what I got.
Why are you disappointed with the figure work?
I don't like how I like the upper half. I don't like how any of this connects. Like it lacks definition. It lacks something. I wanted it to be a lot more twisty, and I think this is a example of you got to push just a little bit more. I wish I had pushed everything about this just a little bit more.
You have regular life drawing, like you have daily life drawing. Do you do a lot of foreshortening life drawing?
Well, I'm going to start now. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. This is the sort of thing, though, that really, I think, lets me know this is what I need to be focusing on now. Because I do think you'll see. I think some of my figure work has been improving, but other parts, it needs to. I need to level up in terms of foreshortening and knowing how to properly get the shape and fill that volume.
Yeah, and just to recreate that vision you have in your head, which I guess didn't live up to the vision you had in your head. I thought it looked cool though, and the coloring was gorgeous.
Well, thank you. The coloring I'm not too disappointed with, but yeah, I don't know. The figure work. Yeah, it's not what I had in my head, but
And what's important to note is that like you don't labor over this stuff. You're
that's
trying to
true.
get it done, and the more you get done, the better you're going to get.
That's
If you like, how do I put this? I guess we're spending like 6 or 7 hours on an image, and then you couldn't meet the deadline, and then you wouldn't get it done. Then you're not getting better as an artist.
yeah. I'm trying not to be too precious about them because these are exercises. Although, remember, if you want them, let me know.
Reach out to Taylor's social media.
That's right. But
Are your DMs
like,
open?
I think so. But yeah, as my wife said, when I was done and unhappy with it, she said, "But you did get it done, and done is better than nothing."
It's better than what most people can do, right?
That's true. Yeah, but that's okay. I got another one that's coming up.
Oh, looking forward to
What
that.
about you,
And,
Eric?
we should just end it by saying, like, I have a monthly image comic coming out. We're currently in the midst of a 3-month break, but yeah, issue 6 should be coming out. This is actually the San Diego Con foil variant,
Ooh.
and yeah, issue 6 should be coming out in November. But I'm currently drawing. That one's done, but yeah, I still am drawing the series, so the rest of Arc 2, because I got to keep this series coming out.
And y'all need to keep
Yeah,
buying.
so I mean, there was a bit of a scare amongst the readers that the book was ending, but I think either whenever this episode airs, either Image did or they're going to do a press release saying that no, it's
Oh,
still
they
continuing,
released
right?
they have released a press release, with a couple of pages, which is very
Yes.
cool. I don't think Image,
Right.
like when a book takes like a 2-month or 3-month break, they don't do a press release to announce it. But yeah, Image is really getting behind this book. I think there's a lot of excitement for it, so that was very cool of Image to do that.
Getting behind this book, just like the viewers of this show, aren't you, viewers? Go get that book.
Get it. The
All
trade is
right,
coming
let's
out.
close it out.
Yeah, let's close it out.
Well, thank you everyone for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.